everyone, welcome back to my channel. Unless you haven't been here before, thanks for stopping by. My name is Megan, also known as Megs. This is Winona. She's 7 months old, and this is my fiance Matthew. And I am here today to talk about something that I've been really excited to talk about, and I never was really sure I would make it this far. I have hit 7 months of breastfeeding, and I am really proud. I'm also really shocked. It feels like it's been a while, but time has also really flown by, especially just with watching Winona grow and everything. It's just going by way too fast. So I think she really helps with that, the fact that it has gone by so fast. But basically, I just wanted to share my story and my breastfeeding journey, and hopefully you guys can maybe learn some things or relate, or you just want to know how it's gone for other people. So here I am, here it is. Let's go. When I was pregnant with Winona, I made a promise to myself and her that I was going to breastfeed. I didn't really have a goal set. I didn't know how long I wanted to do it for. I basically just told Matthew that I was going to do it for as long as I could. I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew that a lot of people do have issues and struggles come about when trying to breastfeed, or maybe their milk doesn't come in. There's so many different things that can happen. And even though I did a lot of research, I really didn't know how many things can really happen. And I just had so much hope for not having issues, and I thought it was just not going to be easy or simple, but doable. So I was really determined that if anything tried to come in the way, I was going to get through it. So, that being said, the day that Winona was born, immediately I started breastfeeding. It was uncomfortable, and it started to get painful that very first day. And I thought that it didn't seem right. I did a lot of research, and it's really not supposed to hurt for long periods of times. You know, there's discomfort in the beginning, and it should go away in a few minutes. But I just thought I'd keep trying. Maybe after a few times or a few days, that pain would go away. That's just what I was hoping. I didn't know what I was in for next. After Winona was born, we were really only in the hospital for about a day. Everything went really well, so we got sent home the next day. And that's when things started getting worse, when we got home. I was just pushing through it. Like I said, I was hoping it would go away. I was using different nipple creams. I got some from the hospital. I already had gotten some myself and from the baby shower, so I was trying different ones, just hoping that it would heal up, because at this point, things were really irritated. And I'm not going to get into too much detail what the irritation was really like. I continued, and then after 2 days, Winona stopped latching. Now, clearly, she didn't have a great latch from the beginning anyway, but she was trying. When I say she stopped latching, she was off. Like, her mouth would not stay attached anymore, and then she just would not even take my breast. And I felt like a lot of it was from me wincing in pain and just showing that I was so uncomfortable and on the verge of crying pretty much. But when she stopped latching, I did start crying. I had a whole mental breakdown. Luckily, Matthew was there for me to help me through it, and I really appreciate that. But I was just a mess, and I was heartbroken, and I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. I really thought I could, and I didn't expect this, at least to happen so fast. I was hoping to at least breastfeed for those 2 weeks where she's getting so much nutrition out of my milk and all the vaccines that I had gotten that she couldn't get yet, and I thought that was all ruined. I did have formula as backup. You just never know. So, crying my eyes out, I go and get this formula and make her a bottle. This is the one and only time that I had to do that. Because right away, I made Matthew, I didn't make him, he did it. He offered to feed her that formula bottle, and I just got to pumping. I tried manually pumping. I had this one manual pump and was just sitting there crying and wasn't really getting anywhere. I had a lot of milk to give and make. I just couldn't inflict that pain on myself with how sore and horrible everything was. But this is just the beginning. It gets better from here. I'm just gonna let you know the parts that weren't so great and felt like they were hard to get through, but once you get past this, it becomes a lot easier and better, and I've been really happy ever since. Back to the story. I luckily got an electric pump from my insurance for free, and I had already stocked up on storage bags and all the bottles to store them in the fridge and everything. I already had all of that because I knew that I was going to need to pump at certain times. I wasn't sure how great my supply would be. I figured I might need it to build supply, or I might need it to pump and save some for Matthew to feed her, maybe if I need rest or I need to go out and do something. But I really wasn't doing much yet, so I just had it just in case, and because I knew there would be a time where I needed it. I did not see myself exclusively pumping, but it was a quick decision, and it was the best thing I could have done to do what I wanted to do, which was breastfeed. And you know, it wasn't the end of the world if we had to switch to formula. I just really wanted to do this. Like I said, promised myself and her, so I was gonna just try everything I could. So from 2 days old to 2.5 months old, I was exclusively pumping all my milk for Gwynonna. And I had such an oversupply that if I was breastfeeding, I would have had to be pumping anyway just to get it out, because it gets painful, and that is something I didn't really know about, is clogged ducts, mastitis, and just engorged breasts. It's really painful, and I went through it all, and a lot of people do. My aunt was visiting. Gwynonna was not quite 2 months yet, but we were having a good time, and I had finally gotten into the motion and routine of pumping. I had a specific schedule. I was doing it at night and everything, trying to not let myself get too engorged. At this point, I was already having Matthew help me literally, TMI, but squeeze milk out of my breasts. Thank you for that, because I couldn't do it myself. But so my aunt was visiting, and we decided to go on kind of a hike, more of just a little adventure out in nature, and it was really fun. Gwynonna had a bottle, I believe, halfway through the little adventure, because I brought expressed breast milk. I thought everything was going to be okay. I had gone hours without pumping and breastfeeding before, because life's not always perfect and you can't always stick on that schedule. But I needed a lot of rest at the time, so I had gone hours without pumping before and thought everything would be okay and that we would get home in time for me to pump. Well, this was the worst. My breasts got engorged. I literally, when we got back to the truck, I was in so much pain. I told them I felt like there's bowling balls on my chest, and they probably thought that was an exaggeration, but no, it was heavy and everything was stretching and about to burst out of my shirt. That's what I felt like. And so I went home and was feeling really ill and feverish and body achy and sick, and that's when I learned that I was dealing with mastitis. So before, it was like, oh, I have clogged ducts, we can just squeeze it out, we can rub it out, we can deal with it. My aunt got me Epsom salt, and I took some baths, and Matthew would just help me squeeze it out. I would cry a lot of the time, and I want to say I went through this for about a month. It went away and came back a few times, and eventually that's when I got my first lifesaver, I guess you could say. Well, Matthew's really my first lifesaver. And then the second thing when it comes to breastfeeding was getting an actual pumping bra, which I will show you guys right now. So this is my pumping bra. As you can tell, it's been through a lot. I mean, it's not like I wear it 24/7, but I have been using it for all my pumping needs for about 7 months. So it gets used a lot. It gets washed a lot. I actually washed it with colors on accident and got some ink, but it doesn't matter. No one sees it except for you guys now. So this is the front of it. It zips up in the front. This is the top. So this should be towards the top of your chest, and it clips in here, and then you zip it up while you have your pumping mechanisms in there. So you take this off. I'm doing this one-handed right now. But you have your little suction thing, and it goes through here. It's a lot easier to do with two hands. So you do that with both sides. Put this on, and you hook up your pumping stuff, whatever you're using. This is what I'm using. You hook that up, and it just makes life a lot easier so that you have your hands and it's, snug enough to where it's not moving around, and it just does what you need it to, basically. And it's really helped me through this journey. Definitely recommend this if you're going to be pumping. These are for when you want to put some milk in the fridge and you just want to leave it in these. I don't feed her out of these bottles because I have other bottles I prefer, but I just use these for storage. We definitely all need nursing pads, especially when you're starting out and leaking a lot. I haven't used these ones because I prefer the washable ones that I do use, and I still use most of the time. I meant to pull these out real quick too. I didn't have to use these a lot, but there were times where it really helped because you can either heat this up or throw it in the freezer and make it cool. It's kind of just like this gel pad thing that is inside this sleeve. 2 of them, because obviously we have 2 breasts. And you can put it around while you're pumping, and whichever you prefer, whatever relieves you, hot or cold, you can do that. For me, I did a lot of heat to loosen things up. So yeah, that's another thing that you might want to try. I was holding these pumps myself and getting tired and it was just a mess. So after getting that pumping bra, it made things a lot easier. I wasn't really mobile because I was still plugged in to an outlet, but I was able to do things with my hands. It wasn't so like boring and exhausting and painful. So if you're going to pump, I really recommend getting the pumping bra. If you have anyone, like your man should be able to squeeze your breasts, that's fine. So if you have help like that, definitely ask for it. If not, there were a lot of times that I did it myself. The third lifesaver, which is really what got me out of this mastitis misery, was a lactation massager. It's not a vibrator. A lot of people think it is when I would pull it out and use it, but I didn't care what anyone thought because it brought me so much relief and actually got these clogged ducts out. So I'm going to show you what mine is like. Here's my lactation massager. It comes in this nice little pouch to hold it, keep it sanitary and all that. So yes, it looks a little odd. I got this one off Amazon and it's worked really nicely for me for months. I think people let their babies use it as a teether too. It's a really nice material for that. So you turn it on. See how I turned it down? I usually always turn it down because I don't feel like I need it super high like that. So yeah, it vibrates. It does different patterns. My hands are super dry because I'm out in the country right now, but everything you need it to do basically. Do what you're comfortable with. And you can use this to cup your breast in a way and just kind of leave it there doing its job. Or if you really need to get in there like myself, you use this and really massage it out. And it's smart to do that while you're pumping, so all that milk that is released from the clogged ducts gets saved because it is liquid gold, people. So yeah, those are my really handy dandy things. And you know, it's good to have nipple creams. Try the different ones. And storage bags. These ones hold a lot, so I bought these. I also get these ones over here for the smaller amounts. Really comes in handy. And then I have a ton of these for storing in the fridge. This is mainly for storing in the freezer. And even if it's necessary, these wipes for cleaning these things down, but usually we just go ahead and clean everything right after pumping or right after that milk gets used. I really didn't want to use any supplements or take anything to make my milk less sticky and more watery or anything like that. I wanted her to have my milk as it is. So these were the three things that helped me. Squeezing, rubbing, massaging the milk out manually with hands, the pump bra, and the lactation massager. Definitely saved me. Throughout these 2.5 months that I was exclusively pumping, there would be times that I would try to get and see if Winona would latch again. I talked to a lactation consultant, was showed different ways to breastfeed and nurse, and I tried the dangling thing, and I tried different positions, and she just was not doing it. So I figured I'm going to be exclusively pumping for at least 6 months, and that's where my goal came in. I wanted her to do this. I wanted her to breastfeed or just have my breast milk for 6 months. That was my goal. I was determined. I was sticking to it. So around this time, things got a little bit easier. Like I said, mastitis came back a few times. The clogged ducts would happen all the time, but I figured out how to get them out. So I felt like it was going to be okay and I can get through it. I could do 6 months, right? That's just a little bit of time in my lifetime. I can do it. But to my surprise, one of these times that I tried to get her to latch, she did. We were about to take a bath. Bath time has always been one of my favorite bonding moments with her, and eventually we started taking baths together for fun and to get her more used to the tub and have more space, bring her bath toys out, and it was just easier and faster, honestly. So we're getting ready for a bath. The water was filling up and we sat on the edge of the bathtub. She obviously was hungry. She was asking to eat, and I was like, man, do I have to give her a bottle right now, like in the tub, or wait? So I called Matthew to go get a bottle. He started prepping everything, and she just was getting fussier and fussier. She's a hungry baby, you know, so I'm just sitting there like, I'm pretty engorged right now. I have a lot of milk. Like, either way, I'm going to have to pump after this bath, and probably a lot of it's going to come out during the bath with the warm water and everything. So let's just try. And she definitely smelled that milk. She definitely knew what she was doing, and Matthew came in with everything and was like, I was like, she latched. She's eating. Like, she's full on eating right now, and it doesn't hurt me, and everything's great, basically. This is where public nursing comes in. For me, I try to be discreet because that's just what I'm comfortable with. I started breastfeeding in the car for the most part. I think the first place I did it was in a boba shop. I'm comfortable doing it around family and people that I know. Even a bank at one point when we had a walk home. I just stopped and did it before the walk home because my baby needed to eat. It's as simple as that. She needs to eat. I'm going to do it. I'm not like whipping everything out. I'm being discreet. I have a nursing cover, but I've never used it, to be honest. I don't think it's really needed. No one should really be staring anyway when I take my breast out. If you're going to talk to me, that's fine. Luckily, I haven't dealt with anyone saying anything to me, and if they did, it'd be bad for them. But no, I'm just playing. But this is my tricks. I usually try to wear things that are easy. Don't mind my old tattoos. That are easy to nurse with. So I wear a lot of tank tops, a lot of stretchy materials. If I wear dresses, I try to pick ones that the strap can go down, or they're just really stretchy in the front areas, and I'm always wearing nursing bras. So pumping bras are great, nursing bras are even better. This one that I have, it clips and unclips for very easy access there, and I have some other ones that are like a nylon material that just stretch really easily, and very rarely do I wear a normal bra. Always stuck with my nursing bras. I love them, and they help out a lot. So, for the most part, like I said, I wear things like this, very stretchy, or I have some button-up things. In my last video for her 6-month update, I was wearing one of my button-up shirts. Don't get me wrong, there are times where I'm not wearing something that's so easy to breastfeed in. If it's a t-shirt, I'll just lift it up. There have been times where I did wear a dress that didn't have anything that could slip down easily. Luckily, I was just around family and I just lifted the whole thing up and was on Matthew's sister's bed breastfeeding. That's just how it is sometimes. Gwenona's pretty good about it now. Actually, when she was around 5 months old, she had no respect for my breasts. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't know what she was doing, but she got distracted really easily, and At some point, I started going into mine and Matthew's room, dimming the lights, having no sound just to breastfeed because she's so distracted. If an animal walked by, she unlatches. If someone else walks into the room, she unlatches. If someone's talking, if there's a TV on, anything that could be distracting was a distraction. So obviously, in public and at people's houses, it was a little bit difficult there, but she's gotten better at it. She's more relaxed. She still is kicking around a lot and scratching and pulling, which is the next thing I wanted to talk about with this little one. She has 2 little teeth that have come in so far, and she uses them. At first, it was a little too much, but she's being more gentle now. The one thing she does all the time is like push on my breast and pull. I'm always telling her, stop treating me like spaghetti, because the way that she like slurps or whatever, I'm just like, relax. This is a relaxing feeding moment, but it's not always. Sometimes it is calming, sometimes it's exciting. So, depending on what mood she's in, I might be getting beat up, and I just deal with it. It's not too bad if you clip your baby's nails all the time, I'll tell you that. She can really scratch and twist and tear, so we try to keep those little nails clipped, and if she's hurting me, I just kind of not stop her from eating, but move her hand away. I'm starting to have this technique now where I cover the areas that she tries to push and pull on with my own hand, and she likes to play with my ring, so that kind of distracts her, but she keeps eating. She stays latched and kind of plays with my ring, or plays with the clip of this bra, or whatever shirt I'm wearing, so she's getting more respectful, aren't you, Bubba? And she's still doing a great job. I want to say she nurses around 6 times a day. We've been doing rice cereal since she was 4 months old, so I pump that milk every night and basically refrigerate it, and then she has that milk for rice cereal the next day. We feed her rice cereal, she goes to bed, and then I pump again for the next day's rice cereal. So we're on a great schedule. I'm not pumping all the time, only as needed. So minimum once a day at night, like I was saying. And it's not painful. I haven't had to use any nipple cream really since I was exclusively pumping. Like I said in the very beginning with the latching issues, it was really painful, and I was using it all the time, and it didn't get much easier or less painful as soon as I started pumping because they needed time to heal. And then I learned, the size of the suction, pumping mechanism. I had the size wrong, it was too small, so I figured that out, and things got easier. And now that she's breastfeeding, I don't have those issues at all, even when I do have to pump. So thank you so much, Winona. You do such a good job, and you saved both of us, and we're still going strong. And we're hoping that we can make it to a year, or whenever she can switch over to cow's milk. We will see, but we have hit our first goal. We are a month over that first goal, thanks to you. And we're just going to keep trying, aren't we? I have had some issues with losing my supply, not to where it was completely gone, but I don't have an oversupply anymore. I don't make a huge amount. Sometimes I worry if I'm making enough at all, but if I have those days where I'm just not making enough, or making enough, but if I have those tough days where it's not as much as I would like, we will just feed her more frequent short feedings or whatever, and I'll get to pumping. And I eat oatmeal every day. I've eaten lactation cookies before. Those work really well. If you ever need to do that, I suggest it, and they're really yummy. And just buy all the good flavors of oatmeal, or mix in fruit or brown sugar, whatever it is you like to make it edible, because you might get burnt out if you need to eat it a lot like I do. Just try all those different things. It really does help. We're doing great. Woohoo! These cheeks are irresistible. So that's it. That's my 7 months of breastfeeding or pumping and all the things that came about. That is my story and our journey. So we will keep you updated in her monthly updates as we usually do. Hopefully we will be getting a 7-month update out soon. She did turn 7 months a few days ago. We made her 6-month update really late because we moved and have had a lot going on, so we're gonna wait a little bit to do her 7-month, but we will see you guys soon. Yeah? Telling them bye and that we love you, and tell them our little outro. Say happy, healthy, and safe. As always, you guys are awesome. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like and comment down below if you would like to. We would love that. And we'll see you next time.
That sounds like Fingerboard.